Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article. It's from The Hill. It was published on December 28th. And it's them trying to fearmonger with President Trump talking about closing the border if the Democrats don't approve funding for his wall. They're really trying to scare people. They think people are stupid because they're stretching this out over an extended time period, trying to make it look like this would be something that would happen for a very long time. Not realizing, the Democrats would have to fucking cave because they're going to look like shit in the end. I think they do kind of know that. And that's why they're going long term with this to make it even, on their trying to figure out like a monetary value of how much this will cost. Because they really want to scare people. I mean, some of their figures, I'm reading it and I go, I got to call bullshit here. So this is written by Niv Ellis. And look at the title. Border closures could cost billions. I mean, that kind of is so direct that they're like, oh, look, it's going to cost billions. Like to freak people out, to scare them. I mean, that's kind of why I think they're being so blunt about it and saying it the way they are. So anyway, let's get into the article here. Closing the U.S. border with Mexico, which President Trump threatened to do on Friday, in a Friday tweet if Democrats do not approve funding for his wall, could cost the economy billions of dollars, say analysts who have studied the issue. Now, I want to know how the fuck they studied this particular issue when this is just kind of a thing. I mean, he did mention it before, but it didn't come anywhere. I mean, to me, yeah, it just seems like they're already jumping the gun. It would affect the U.S. economy massively and very negatively, said Chris Wilson, deputy director at the Wilson Center's Mexico Institute and the co-author of a study on the border economy. See, one thing I love about this is they're putting money above the nation's security. And with that, its long-term prosperity. They're thinking short-term. And then they're thinking that if he closes the border, it's going to be for an extended period of time. Democrats will have to cave if he does that. Because the people will actually turn against them on this shit. Because they'll be like, what the fuck? Just give them the $5 billion, you stupid fucks. See, they're not thinking about that. They don't get it. American people have woken up. The normies have a fucking clue. Even them. And they'd just be like, give them the $5 billion, you stupid fucks, to reopen the border. Seriously. Only the far left's going to be like, no, and freak the fuck out. Those are the only ones that are going to do that. There's about $1 billion of commerce that crosses the border every single day. So every day it's closed, we're losing out on hundreds of millions of dollars, he added. I don't think it's billions of dollars crossing the Mexican border every fucking day. I'm not buying that shit. Because that would be, because he's saying billions, plural. Okay. 365 billion? $1 billion a day? 365 days a year. Billions, plural. So it'd be 730? Yeah, I don't think there's that much coming across the Mexican fucking border. Simple fucking math. Trump threatened to close down the border as part of a broader fight with Democrats over building a border wall and funding the government. Yeah. Because they don't want to play ball. He's offered them other shit in return for the $5 billion for the wall. Some of their choice things that they want. But they don't want to work with them. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to compromise. They want what they want. They want no money for the wall, and they want the stuff that Trump promised plus more. That's their mentality. Gimme, 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 gimme. We will be forced to close the southern border entirely if the obstructionist Democrats do not give us the money to finish the wall and also change the ridiculous immigration laws that our country is saddled with, Trump wrote in a Friday tweet, which I got to give him credit. He's now saying, okay, fuck you. You don't want to pay the $5 billion? Guess what? The cost just went up. Now we're also going to reform immigration law. I got to give him credit for that. I really do. Because most Republicans in that office would fucking cave. They'd cave in Congress too, but yeah. Because they don't want to look like they're racist, or they don't want to look like this, or they don't want to look like that. To them, it's all about the fucking optics. For Trump, it isn't. Trump is demanding $5 billion to fund his wall in order to reopen the government, while Democrats say they will only support legislation that includes $1.6 for border security, including $1.3 billion for fencing. Yeah, for fucking fencing. And what has fencing done to this point? Absolutely nothing. Fencing. Okay, they bring bolt cutters. Boom. They snip right through it. They're fucking through. So you just wasted $1.3 billion on a fence that they can snip through. Give me a break. Need something more substantial than that. Mexico is America's third largest trade partner, and the two economies are deeply intertwined, with a $558 billion in goods crossing the border in two-way trade last year alone. The Commerce Department estimated that in 2015, nearly 100,000 American jobs were supported by goods trade with Mexico. Okay, so he said billions of dollars, plural, going across the Mexican border. Okay, he just contradicted himself. Because billions, that would be 730 or whatever it was. Okay, and change. He now is saying 558 billion across the border. Because he said billions daily. Billions daily would denote more than $1 billion a day. Like two. Plural. 2 or 3. Not 1 and change. And he's trying to play it like this would be an extended thing. The Democrats would have to cave. Because Trump isn't. He's playing chicken with them, and he's not about to veer off. If the border were to be shut down, experts say, the consequences would be immediate. The first thing you'd start to see is a spike in car prices and factories in trouble, said Richard Miles, senior fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, America's program. You wouldn't see a spike in car prices right away. Right now, there's a surplus of fucking vehicles in this country. So I think before that surplus was wiped out, this shit would be settled. So that's a moot fucking point. See, they're trying to play it like long term. This would not be something that's long term. The Democrats would have to cave on this. They're gonna, if they fight this, they're gonna look so fucking shitty. They're gonna look like complete shit. And what's going to end up happening is it'll turn the people against them. And they know this. They will have to do something quickly in order to not have that happen, in order to save themselves. Because even the die-in-the-wool Democrats would start getting a clue. And they'd be losing votes that way. Especially with the fact of how they've been treating their traditionally Democrat voters, well, as of late, with their doing that and courting other people, current and for the future, to vote Democrat, like with the open borders and mass immigration, mass illegal influx, because I'm not going to call it migration, or immigration, because to do those things you do them legally. But yeah, influx of illegals and their anchor babies and everything else, and they're doing that for the votes. So add this on top, because people are waking up with them doing that with the illegals. Add that on top that they're fighting Trump on this shit. More people will wake the fuck up and be like, just give them the $5 billion. And when they're like, no, they'll be like, why the fuck did I vote for these assholes? And that'll happen. A huge proportion of American trade with Mexico deals in parts, so shutting the border would immediately throw a wrench into the auto supply chain as well as other manufacturing. Yes and no, because there are plants that can produce a lot of these parts still in the United States. Still a possibility. There's also Canada. A lot of parts are still also produced in Canada, eh? There are ways around this. And again, this would be, if it's long term, see, they don't want to admit that what they're talking about would be a long term situation because they're trying to fearmonger. And if you say, oh, well, this would happen if this was to happen for an extended period, people would be like, it ain't going to happen for an extended period. What the fuck are you talking about? You wasted my time with this shit? Fuck you. So they don't want to admit that this is based on an extended period. Another major casualty would be agriculture, which would hit farm states already facing a squeeze from a trade war with China. Well, that trade war's been put on hold until April, so fuck you. Right now, they're not feeling the squeeze. And right now, it's not even growing season. Miles noted that corn and soybean exports to Mexico are big business for farmers in Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Illinois, and Indiana. Yes, but right now, in those regions of the country, those states, it's not the growing season. Again, this would have to be a long-term situation for it to have any effect on them. It wouldn't last that long. The Democrats would have to cave. American consumers would see the difference at the supermarket, said Wilson. See, right now, yes, okay, those fresh produce items, like lettuce and avocados and tomatoes and all those other ones. Yeah. Right now, we would probably, if the border closed, we would see a pinch on that. We would see the prices go up. I'm not going to deny that. But I would rather see a short-term situation like that and him applying enough leverage and pressure to get his $5 billion than get a cheap fucking head of lettuce. No offense. Because, I mean, right here, you've got, like they list them here. Like many foods such as avocados, tomatoes, lettuce, celery, and a variety of berries come to the United States by way of Mexico. Yes. Short term, these things would go up. Not long term because the Democrats can't hold out. It's winter, so we don't produce a lot of fruits and vegetables in the United States. Exactly my fucking point. By and large, we depend on Mexico to supply our grocery stores in the winter, said Wilson, who estimated that some 70% of the produce comes into the U.S. by truck. Okay? Here you are saying that these farmers are going to be hurt when it's not the fucking growing season, so they're not. And here you are now then admitting that, yeah, well, we don't really grow shit this time of year. No shit. Make up your mind. Some of the states that would be the hardest hit by a border closure backed by the closure back to Trump in 2016. Mexico comprised over 23% of imports for states such as Arizona, Michigan, Texas, and Utah, which all went for Trump. Texas, Arizona, and South Dakota, all red states, each sent over a quarter of their exports to Mexico last year. See, what they're also leaving out is a lot of people in those states, especially the border states, voted for Trump on multiple issues like illegal immigration. They want the wall. They'll deal with the short-term issues like this for the fucking wall. They're not stupid. They know it's a short-term thing. They're going to read this and they're going to, hopefully, most of them are going to see this and go, yeah, just fear-mongering, fuck you, and move on. Border states would feel the brunt of the pain. Border states overwhelmingly want a secure fucking border. Except for California. Except for commie fucking Fornia. So Texas, they're more than willing to deal with this. Arizona, they're more than willing to deal with this. Because you know why? They have the cartels operating openly well inside the U.S. fucking border. Within their state. There are signs up telling people it's not safe to travel through certain parts of the state because of the cartels. I think they want the fucking border wall. I know I would in that situation. In September, nearly 8 million vehicles and 15 million passengers crossed the U.S.-Mexico border legally, according to data from the Department of Transportation. Yeah? And again, you're talking about September. I don't think the Democrats could last a month. It would be party suicide. There are almost 1 million legal crossings every single day. Yeah, okay. A few days of that not happening, Democrats will be feeling the pressure. Trump can take the heat, can they? Tijuana alone, it's like 50,000 vehicles and 25,000 pedestrians. That's day laborers, nannies, landscapers coming in, and the other way around. It's services like architects to engineers to high-end skilled labor, said Miles. Bullshit! That's not a two-way fucking street. There isn't that many people from the United States going to Mexico for fucking work. Nice try. Ain't buying it. Around Thanksgiving this year, the government closed down the San Ysidro border crossing between San Diego and Tijuana for 6 hours, citing concerns about migrants trying to rush the border. Yeah, because they fucking were going, basically working towards that end of rushing the fucking border. But all right. I think I would rather have them shut down the border and stop that and inconvenience some people for a short time than worry about it being closed. No offense, just my priorities are a little different than yours, because my priorities are about the security of the country. My priorities are about the fact of curbing illegals from crossing, curbing the illegal influx into the United States. The San Ysidro Chamber of Commerce estimated that those 6 hours led to an estimated $5.3 million in losses for the local economy alone. That right there, I got to call bullshit. Bullshit. Excuse me. Bullshit. I start, doing the bullshit cough. I start getting tickle in my throat when I read bullshit like that. Because that is complete bullshit. It might be horse shit, but it's shit nonetheless. There's no way in San Ysidro, 6 hours of the border being closed cost them $5.3 million. No fucking way. No fucking how. That is seriously being a dishonest piece of shit, because $1 million an hour, well, 900,000, 8 something. But yeah, I mean, why didn't they just round it up to 6 million? If they're going to make up fucking numbers, just, yeah, because that was $1 million an hour. Okay. We'll say 5 million in 6 hours. Okay. There's no way what that would break down per minute. Would end up like actually being, oh shit, I don't have a calculator on this computer. Shit. I was going to break it down to show you by minute. So hold on. Let me grab my phone here and I'll quickly figure that out. Because 5.3 million in 6 hours. So 5.3 million. So 5 million 300,000 divided by 6 is 883,333 continual. Okay. So that's an hour. Now, there's 60 minutes an hour, so we'll divide that by 60. That's $14,722.22 continual per minute. I highly doubt in the influx of people across the border. I highly doubt the local economy is making almost $15,000 a minute. with Mexicans coming across the border. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. They come to the United States to pay more, because it's more expensive. Yeah, that's common sense. That's bullshit. I mean, I just did the math. There is no way they're making almost $15,000 a minute off of Mexicans coming across the border. Not in that 6-hour period. Not even, if hell froze over. Are they making that much? I call bullshit. I doubt it. But, they're seriously trying to push a fucking narrative here. So, hey, whatever. People depending on a functioning U.S.-Mexico border as part of their day-to-day life in a way that few in Washington understand, said Wilson. People depend on a functioning U.S.-Mexico border as part of their day-to-day life in a way that few in Washington understand. No, they understand. They just don't agree with your fucking bullshit. See, the thing is you're trying to say, well, we should say fuck border security, fuck the wall, fuck all that type of shit, because having an open border is more important. No, screw you. I'd rather have the border crossing shut down for a short period. The Democrats feel the pressure, and then we get $5 billion to secure the border. Makes sense. See, that's something you don't understand. Even something short of a full shutdown, such as increasing vehicle checks or otherwise slowing crossings, could be a major economic drag. So, we should give up border security for money. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. And I love this, because that's what you're basically saying. We should give up border security for that. And then what do? You go right into 9/11. Where border security, border enforcement failed. Immigration and customs, what became ICE, they failed. FBI failed. A bunch of people failed. A bunch of groups failed. In the aftermath of 9/11, the government decided to inspect every vehicle for several. Every vehicle for several. What the fuck? No one proofreads shit anymore. That makes no sense. Especially where it goes from there. In the aftermath of 9/11, the government decided to inspect every vehicle for several, causing lines for kilometers and dramatically reducing crossings and leaving car manufacturers and other industrialists short on supplies. Kind of a bullshit thing. They really weren't that short on supplies. But all right, you want to push that narrative? Okay. You couldn't even write in a complete fucking sentence. So, I mean, what the fuck? But the current situation along the border, says Wilson, provides no security justification for closing the border completely. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, it does. It really does, because you know what? Democrats want open borders. They have that at this point. The only way to secure our borders is to close them right now. Only way. That's a justification. It's common fucking sense. Sorry to break it to you, Wilson, you clueless fuck, but that's how it is. But you see, you're more concerned about money than you are about national security. You're more concerned about money than national sovereignty. So, whatever. I think that it would be economically dangerous. The only reason to do it is if you have a massive national security imperative to do it, which we do. We've got these open borders we need to secure. We need to build a wall to secure them. Common fucking sense. In the aftermath of 9/11, that may have made sense, but people fleeing violence in Central America is just not the national security crisis at the border that would justify, he said. What the fuck are you talking about? You've got criminals mixed in with them. Most of those people, okay, are men. Military-aged men. Gang-banging aged men. Who, for optics, put the women and children up front and hide behind them like human shields. Come on now. That's major security issue. See, we're not getting all the crime. We're not hearing about all the crime that these people brought to Mexico. These assholes go to Tijuana. Well, even before Tijuana, they started carjacking people and stealing their rides. They put out warnings not to drive alone in TJ because they're afraid that you'll get ripped out of your car, and these fucking scumbags that are coming to the United States for a free fucking ride will steal your fucking car out from under you. That's a matter of fact. I'm not saying all of them, but they're bringing fucking crime. Trump previously threatened to shutter the border in October ahead of the November midterm elections as he devoted significant attention to a caravan of Central American refugees and migrants headed towards the United States. Yes, and you know what happened? When he threatened to shut down the U.S. border, Mexico, El Presidente went, oh, fuck me. If El Presidente of Mexico will go, oh, fuck me, and work with Trump, which is why, in part because of him doing that, the migrants are there in Mexico. They didn't get a free pass into the U.S., and they're being processed for asylum claims before even setting foot in the country. It goes to show you it works. I think you know that too, which is why you're pushing this bullshit fucking narrative, because you know that the Democrats are going to have to cave. You know that there's no way that they can spin this and come out looking good. I mean, this is ridiculous. They are seriously, they're taking long-term projections for something that would be short-term, because the Democrats can only hold out a week, maybe 2 tops, before they shit themselves, because this is literally a game of chicken. Okay? And Trump closing the border. If he closes the border, they're going to be careening at each other. All right? See, Trump, he's going, I got a huge advantage over him. I got a huge advantage. It's so huge. And he knows it. So he can go careening at them full fucking speed in this game of chicken. And they're the ones that are going to have to move, because it isn't going to be like, a train wreck type of collision. Trump's just going to plow right the fuck through them like they were paper mache. And his popularity will keep going up and up and up and up, because people will be seeing the Democrats for who they are. That's how that'll play out. That's how it'll go down. People will wake up. The only people who won't are the Democrat left's far left fuckwits, that spurg out over stupid shit, that drink the fucking Kool-Aid. They'd go to Jonestown and they'd be the first ones in line at the punch bowl. Those types, yeah. Those are the only ones that would be backing the Democrats. Average people would be like, fuck this shit, I'm done. Because they'd literally going to be like, look, $5 billion isn't a piss in the bucket compared to the national budget. You give him the $5 billion, he builds his fucking wall, and you get to do what the fuck you want. He's offering you stuff. Or at least he was. Now he's going, fuck you. And I got to give him credit for that, because not only is he saying, I want the $5 billion, but he's saying, I want immigration law reformed. I give him credit for that. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.